What's up, guys? Mr. Lee Redmond here. Welcome to episode number 13 of the Rags to Riches series with Rio Oviedo. Bringing you the first batch of games from the third season in my first season in the Segunda Division after last season's outstanding promotion effort. I'm going to go through a bit of everything here, through some transfers, through the fixtures, finances. So it could be a bit of a long story, so I'll try not to bore you all to tears. First things first, I will go to the transfers. Not actually too sure how many I brought in. That's how many I brought in. Completely forgot about that. So as you can see, guys, these are all the players I released last season. Busto, who played a major part in getting me promoted. Unfortunately, he was 34. His scouting report was not great, and he wanted quite a bit of money to stay on, so I released him, and thankfully, due to quite a bit of money I've received, I was able to get a decent-ish replacement. He was the only major release apart from actually maybe this guy Quintana, the keeper. Yeah, so he played 88 games in the 2 games for me. So apart from those two, the only other major departure was Martin Mantovani, my defender, who's gone back to Argentina, to San Lorenzo. I wanted to keep him, but some of the money I was getting offered by San Lorenzo and some Argentinian teams, I accepted eventually because I started to find replacements for them all. The only other departure really of note is Santi Fernandez, one of my youngsters, is currently out on loan to who was it? Cultural Leonesa, I think that's how you say it. He's out on loan for the season. With regards to loan signings or loans that I send out, I always try to look for season longs, because all the players that I basically put on the loan list are my reserves, and they will not have a chance to get into my first team, so I like to send them out on season long loans. Any of the youngsters, anyone under the age of 20, will also go out on loan for the season unless I actually have them in the first team, which admittedly doesn't happen very often. So any youngsters will definitely go out on loan for the whole season as well. So that's the transfers out. I made £140,000 on that, which wasn't too bad. So here comes the signings, and as you can see, I've made quite a few. I've made 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12 in total. So let's get looking. First player was this guy, 24-year-old Spanish player from a team called Cala. He plays across the midfield, as you can see. His main position is attacking midfielder, but he was a decent player, and as you can see, he's 24 as well. And I got him on for £18,000 from these guys, Atletico Malagueña, who I think are actually Argentinian. I'm not sure, to be honest with you, where they're from. I think it's oh no, they're Spanish, non-league Spanish team. So I brought him on loan because he actually played at Cadiz. Was on loan at Cadiz for last season, did pretty well, and I think he may have scored against me, so I brought him in as well. We then signed this guy, Paolo Savarimi, a youngster on loan, on a free. I started to look at quite a few youngsters at the end of the season as well. He may have even been part of the actual part of the squads, the youth intake. I'm not too sure. I don't think he was, because I think the youth intake signings are about a month before the end of the season. But I have started to look a bit at the youngsters. I have tried to get guys from my youth intake. Unfortunately, they've not all been that great. The next player in was this guy, Wilfred Zahibo, 21-year-old midfielder who mainly plays defense. Well, is defensive midfielder, but can play in the midfield as well. 4-star, 3.5 current ability, and can go up to 4-star. So it's nice to have someone else on board, especially with it being a new division. Next guy, 19-year-old centre back, Sebastian Zielinski, Zeleniki, another youngster, only 2-star current ability at the moment. I'm hoping to send these guys out on loan, but I think the loan window's finished, so not able, I'm afraid. And then we've got this guy, another youngster, Andrea Patanga, striker. Again, he's 1 star at the moment, but his current potential ability is 4, so hopefully he's one for the future as well. And then the final for the 5th free transfer of the section is this guy. I think he's also down for, actually he's one of the main strike. He's a striker, Valerio Rossetti. Brought him in for his first team. You'll find that I think quite a few of these are actually youth players at the start, but when we get to like these guys here, these are hopefully first teamers. So Lorenzo Rossetti was actually a first team striker. Again, I've struggled a little bit with defence, so I've gone to my parent club Sampdoria and brought in 2 guys on loan. There's this guy, veteran Celiac, right back, can play left back as well, and right wing back, but his best role is the full back position. So I've brought him in because I did need some defenders, specifically full backs, if I remember rightly. He's been joined by teammate Savas Genskulu, who can play defensive centre back, defensive midfielder, or midfield central. Actually, I have signed him all 3 seasons on loan from Sampdoria. First one, he actually got sent to me without me asking. Second one, I actually loaned him myself, went in for him, and again this season as well. Hopefully, I mean, at the end of the season his contract is up, so hopefully I can get a permanent signing on there, hopefully. We then brought in Matteo Sanz from SC Bastia. It's not great, but then my centre backs are not that great at all. So I have 650,000, which could be a bit of a cock up there on my behalf, to be honest, but we'll have to wait and see. Next player is Alessandro Berardi, 23-year-old goalkeeper. I struggled with keepers as well. He's the best one I've got, 2.5 stars, but he does have a 4-star potential, so he's one for the future. Next and final free transfer of the season was Thomas Pedrobisi, another youngster. Hopefully he will be decent acquisition in the future. But that was the last young signing. I've got another keeper who's not as great, to be honest. I realised actually at the end of last season, after releasing Quintana, I didn't actually have any keepers, so I've brought this guy in mainly as backup to really fill the numbers, because as you can see, those are my only 2 keepers. So brought him in, potential ability 3-star, only 1-star current. So that is the transfers. Finance wise, you see I got 3 million in the bank, which is projected to go to 3.1. Practically every single game in the Segunda Division is actually televised, so that's quite nice to have that happening. I'm going to go into the fixtures now. I'm not going to go into great detail as I normally would, because we've got 11 games and I've got the friendlies to go through, and there's a couple of other bits as well, and this could be a really long video if I do that. So friendly wise, we had 5 friendlies. We lost 1-0 at home to the Portuguese side Maritimo, which wasn't too bad score. To be honest, I don't actually do the friendlies myself because I just can't be bothered. I'd rather concentrate on getting some players in. Followed that up with a 0-0 draw against Numancia. Little weird because these guys are actually in my division, so I'm not too sure why that was arranged. So these guys, Rayo Vallecano, who I beat 4-1, Matteo Sanz double, Diego Cerrevo, what must have been an own goal, gave me the win. Followed that up with another team from my division, Mirandes, 3-2 win, Hector Simon, Pedro Bisi, the youngster, and Chevy Zerez gave me a 3-2 win. And then the final friendly of the season, Portuguese side again, Vitória Guimarães, and I lost 3-1, and Pedro Bisi, the youngster, was my goal scorer. So as you can see, practically every game is actually on TV. Started off by losing 2-0 against fellow promoted sides Alaves. Menendez put them 1-0 up on the hour mark, and Juanje made it 2-0 10 minutes later. So we didn't start off very well, and as you can see, we've not done well at all, to be honest. We then played a second promotion team in Tenerife and drew 2-2. Chavizeres put me 1-0 up just after the half-hour mark. Pedro Morales equalised for Tenerife in the 44th minute to make it 1-1. Pepe Diaz put me in front in the 50th minute to make it 2-1. They equalised through Jesus in the 66th minute, and that is how it stayed. We then followed that up with a 4-1 defeat at Cordoba. Alvaro Anton put them 1-0 up in the 17th minute. 3 minutes later it was 2-0 to them. 3 minutes later it was 3-0 to them. And then Pepe Diaz in the 24th minute made it 3-1. And then Anton actually made it 4-1 in the 85th minute. Followed that up with a 2-1 home defeat to Numancia. Aguilar put them 1-0 up in the 2nd minute, and that's how it was till half time. And then Valerio Rossetti made it 1-1 in the 71st. Unfortunately, we were not able to hold on, as a Jose Cazes goal made it 2-1 with 7 minutes to go, and that is how the game finished. We then took a break from the league, but not a break from defeats, as we lost to Murcia in the cup. Hector Simon put me 1-0 up in the 26th minute. Chavizeres made it 2-0 to me in the 51st. However, it wasn't enough, as Oscar Diaz in the 66th and an Eddie goal 2 minutes later pulled Murcia level, and that's how it stayed to half full time. As you can see, we lost 10-9 on penalties. I'm really disappointed, especially having gone 2-0 up as well, which is quite irritating. We then got absolutely battered by Celta Vigo 5-1. Cito Riera put them 1-0 up in the 3rd minute. Bulot made it 2 in the 8th. He then doubled his tally and made it 3-0 in the 25th, and that's how it was till half time. Helder Postiga made it 4 in the 56th minute, and Chavizeres made it 4-1 in the 80th minute. Postiga rounded off the scoring in the 83rd to make it 5-1. We then got our 2nd point of the season against Racing Santander. Racing were 1-0 up in the 6th minute, and then Ibutski made it 2 in the 17th, and Sepulveda made it 3 in the 39th. However, a Pepe Diaz goal in the 40th minute made it 3-1. He then pulled another back just before half time in the 43rd minute to make it 3-2 at half time. He then completed his hat-trick in the 48th minute. So not only did we come back from 3-0 down, it was an 8-minute hat-trick. And Valerio Rossetti made it 4-3 to me in the 83rd. However, Vicente Perez scored with 2 minutes to go to deny us our first win of the season, but we held out for a 4-4 draw. We then went to play Mirandes and lost 1-0. A Diaz de Serio goal in the 92nd minute gave him the win, and I didn't know what to say there. It was so frustrating. Then lost to Murcia in the league 4-2. Paco Sutil put them 1-0 up in the 22nd minute. Salah equalised for me in the 63rd, and we were 1-1 into the 76th minute when Oscar Diaz put them 2-1 up. David De Paulo made it 3-1 in the 78th minute. I pulled one back in the 80th to give me a chance of getting a point. However, a Higuino in the 90th minute made it 4-2. However, the next game is where we got our first win of the season at home to Girona. Diego Cerevo in the 67th minute penalty put me 1-0 up, and then Chavizeres rounded the scoring off in the 92nd minute to give me my first win of the season. However, Xavi Quintero and Hector Simon were injured in the game as well. I then followed that up with a 3-1 defeat of Rayo Vallecano. PT put them 1-0 up in the 18th minute. Oscar doubled the lead 10 minutes later, and Yannick Ferreira Carrasco made it 3-0 in the 33rd minute. We pulled a goal back to make it a little easier on ourselves, but 3 minutes to go, but we didn't celebrate wins very quickly. And then the final game of the section was a 3-1 win at Sporting Gijon. Diego Cerevo in the first 60 seconds made it 1-0, and then made it 2-0 in the 13th minute, and then Valerio Rossetti completed the scoring for me in the 28th minute. Gaston Senghor did pull one back for Sporting in the 35th minute, but that's how it stayed to give us our second win of the season. So that's the section of fixtures. Let's go into to the tables. As you can see, it's not good. We are 19th and in the final relegation place. However, we do have we are within a point of Lugo, but they do have a game in hand on us. You've got Tenerife bottom, then Recreativa and Almeria, and then it's me. You've got Celta running away with the league. They've actually won all 10 games, and you got Rayo Vallecano in second on 22. Stats wise for the players, appearances is the only bracket with one of my players in, and that's David Fernandez with 11. So that's it for this episode, guys. I know I did run through those leagues quite quickly, but I didn't really want to let you all suffer with how bad I was doing, and also how long this video is going to be. It will be a little bit more detailed in league games next time, because I will not be showing you much else. So the next section will be the halfway stage. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it'll be there against Alaves. That will be the halfway stage, guys. So the end of January. So that is where the next video will be. Hopefully we'll claw our way out of the relegation zone, or at least be close enough to have a chance. Until then, guys, leave some likes, leave some comments, subscribe, and join me next time for the halfway stage of the season. Take it steady.